RSV MK2. Let's talk about it. This is a new release from Softears, and Softears is an interesting company. We'll talk about a lot about their IEMs in the graph comparison section, but this is an interesting release for them. It's an MK2 version of an IEM that's nothing like the previous version they have. This is a 5 BA set that costs around $700. I did get this from Linsol with a nice discount. Let's go ahead and start looking at the build quality of this IE. Now the shell doesn't look like much, but it's a nice shell. It sits comfortably in my ear. It isolates well. It's a 2-pin cable connection, and it feels comfortable and durable in hand. I don't feel like it's gonna break. I like the faceplate. It reminds me kind of like an evil Voltron or some kind of weird knight kind of looking down at me. It is a slightly recessed 2-pin cable connector. Its nozzle holds on to ear tips very well, and there's a venting on the back, kind of on the faceplate. It's an all-around nice set. It looks good. It feels good in ear, and it feels premium, which is an important thing at this price. The cable has a red little hook on the top for right. Its chin slider stays in place. It feels silky and smooth on your hand. This is a nice feeling cable, one of the nicer cables I've seen with an IEM, and it feels and looks premium. It terminates in a 4.4. It does have a 4.4 to 3.5 connector, which matches the theme of the cable. Here is that connector now. Again, it looks and feels nice and has no issues. This comes with little IEM booties, a couple sets of tips, a clean brush, and a nice overall spread of accessories in a premium box that's really fun to unbox. It comes with a nice microfiber clean brush and this nice case. This case isn't super exciting, but I like the look and feel of it, but there is kind of this feeling of this case that it almost feels like it's, I don't know, kind of like fake leather, and it feels kind of phony. I feel like they could have made a better case for as much as they're charging for this, but it looks nice. I'm just not sure about the durability. I will give you guys a little spoiler. I like this IEM a lot. It's going to be having its little case sit on my desk for quite a while, and this is the case that I use. It's a little plastic box. I got these from the same guy Mark from Super Reviews gets his, but these boxes are a little bigger than the ones he uses, but I like them a lot. So how does this IEM sound? It looks like Voltron, and it looks kind of scary and dark, and it feels dark. It's a little bit of a dark IEM, but it looks and feels great in ear, and it's well packaged. It's a fair price, I think, but I mean, obviously it's a lot of money, but if you look at what other IEMs are in its lineup, I think it offers some value to some people, and obviously at any IEM at this price may not have it, but there's a sense of beauty and naturalness to this IEM. Softears is known for having their really strong BAs, and I think this IEM does very, very well. It's interesting now, like there's not been a lot of reviews of this IEM, so that's part of the reason I'm doing this for review, and I actually just have a little bit of gap in my schedule where I can do some things. It's really fun, it's enjoyable, it's not super airy, but it hits the bass department really well, really nice and right. There's a lot of times I'm getting a lot of sibilance, and sometimes in certain vocals, this tuning with as much bass as it has can be jarring. And if someone told me they listened to this IEM and they thought it was garbage, I would understand. This is not a regular IEM. This is a very bass heavy IEM to the point that it's going to almost insult people. Some people who are used to Softears, more delicate sets, will listen to this and hate it. And so I do want to warn people that this is not going to be for everyone. This is for me. This is for people that like what I like, but it does not be perfect in my view and has a lot of faults. We'll try to talk about them in the graph section and in the summary as well. All right, the Softears RSV MK2. Let's talk about it. What do you notice? A lot of bass, just a ton of bass, and that's going to put a lot of people off. Like sometimes I like using IEMs just to listen to podcasts and check out reviews. This is one of those IEMs that I love it for music and I love what it does to music, but sometimes certain vocalists that I'm really used to hearing their voice on certain things, or just the sound of someone's voice on a podcast, this can kind of muck some things up. There is some roughness that does appear in this IM due to this hedonistic amount of bass. Now, some people might like it. I mean, like I was talking to some guys that were really impressed with the Scarlett Mini the other day. To me, the Scarlett Mini represents just an absolutely dumpster fire, like insanity amount of bass that I don't see people liking. It has a ton of air to try to compensate for it as well. It's going to be really warm to a lot of people's ears, but it is not for me. But the RSV to me has a really specialness to it. It does bass in a different way, but it also has a bit of warmth through this like 150 to 200 kind of region that may not be for everyone and kind of is sort of unique in that regards. So let's look at a few others. The first one I want to show you, this is versus all the other Softears IMs, and what do you notice that like almost all of them have this kind of general tonality, right? We'll look at them a little bit in depth pretty quickly, but the big things you'll notice: Softears Studio 2, their last tuning is kind of out of the ballpark, and so is the MK2. So let's go ahead and start getting rid of some of these, and we'll go ahead and look at the MK2 first of all, because it is so weird. Like the MK2 versus the Studio. Let's do that first. And what you notice is that the Studio 2 is their most recent IM, and I did not like it. Most people didn't. I had a lot of trouble. That wasn't really part of their house sound. It was supposed to be for studio people. Okay, whatever. But I know there's some people that got it, reviewed it, and found some stuff positive with it. You go. But for me, it was just absolutely trash and kind of laughable that they tried to sell it. It's not for music listeners, I guess, but yeah, whatever. There's stuff like the Softears Volume, which is a little bit more V, has a little bit of bass. This is not a little bit of bass. This is a lot of bass, and I want you to notice that with every single one of these things, how much more bass is on the RSV. It's very different and almost akin to the MK2, or the Studio 2, excuse me, rather than the other sets that they have here. As far as the RSV, let's get rid of the volume. But if you look at the RSV, you'll notice that like there's a lot of similarities, but it really pops off from the bass. So I think if you're a big fan of the RSV and you really wanted something with more bass, this is really kind of a nice diversion from that. But if you like the RSV, this is not something like that. Again, this is much different tuning, something that I have not seen from Softears, and I'm actually kind of impressed that they're going in this direction with something a little bit different. So that's something to know. I really like the Softears Volume S. Now, I like in the low impedance mode, but you'll notice it does have a lot more bass, which is one of my faults with the Volume S. It has a little bit of tuning, different tuning in the air, but this is a really nice set, and I think it really does justice. Like if your problem with the Volume S was just that it needed more sub bass, this kind of fixes it, and this is a good IM in that direction. But it's still not going to be for everybody. There's still people that might prefer the Softears Volume S and just not see that added bass as a added value. It may not be an added value for everybody, and it may not be an added value for you. As far as some of their other IMs, like the Softears Studio or the RS10, which I know they're doing a new one of, same kind of tuning. Nice upper mids, very low amount of bass in it. So you know, that's kind of something to note. The Studio 4, basically the same kind of thing. Like all their IMs are very similar. Even something like the Twilight, who has even more of a lean bass, and you get something just a little bit different with this IM. Now, I have got to hear their Enigma twice, and I wanted to show this from you on Mark from Super Reviews rig. And what do you notice? That is a lot different than the Enigma, and I haven't graphed it, and I haven't reviewed it. Thought about buying one, but I don't know if I need to after the RSV Mark II. You'll notice that its bass shelves are a little bit different, more sub bass, less mid bass. I don't know, the Enigma is a very fantastic set. It does have a lot of upper mids, and it does come across shouty to me on certain tracks, but I do think it's a very endgame worthy set. Like sometimes the more endgame worthy things are, the more unique, the more weird they are. Just something to note, that endgame sets don't always mean quality, and that's One of the things which I don't think a lot of people get, like endgame just means sometimes weird and janky, and that's just what it is. One of my favorite sets for a long time was the Annihilator. It has a very similar bass profile, a little bit more sub bass, a little bit different approach to upper mids. One of the things about the Annihilator it has like this kind of like this lot of this 5K peak, whereas the RSV MK2 has kind of the reverse of that. I think that little peak kind of helped stabilize the bass. And I helped kind of make it a little bit more clean for some things, but it also could come across bright as well. The RSV MK2 does not come across bright. It does come across slightly less detailed to my ears, slightly less technical is the word that people like to use, but it's just frequency response. But that's kind of my take on it all. I did get the opportunity. Sometimes I sign up for a bunch of stuff on HeadFi. I just graphed and I've been listening to the Imminent Ears Ruby. It's like a $2,000 set from like a Linsel brand, and it's just kind of weird. It has a lot of air, a lot of detail, decent bass, very unique sound signature. Not really my bag, but you know, some people might like it. I just wanted to show you guys this real quick. Another one I got to show is the Prismatica, just another $900 IM that doesn't even really sound right. It has a lot of detail, a lot of bass. And anyone who's watching my channel knows my least favorite tuning. Like if you're trying to sell a set, or you want to see if I like something, and you see a big, huge, humpy bass shelf and a ton of upper mid treble, is like one of my least favorite tunings. It just can be very odd. I've listened to a few sets that are like moderately okay, but most of them are weird, and that's the Prismatica, and it's just kind of weird to me. Not really mid-focused, but the MK2 has this uniqueness about having a great bass shelf and sounding really nice in music and just full and rich with great detail and finiteness to the music. It reminds me a lot on the bass shelf wise of the KV Ears HBB Punch. It's a lot cheaper. I do feel the MK2 has a nice sense to it. I think some people might hear one or the other and not appreciate it, one versus the other. And if you're on the fence and you're like, I already have a punch, you may not need the RSV MK2, especially if the punch really is something that you really like. I mean, I know there's also another IM that's basically the same, which is with a high senior Mega 5 EST bass. I did a bunch of reviews and I even customized one that's very similar to it. So it's interesting times. As far as like what other endgame sets are there out there, there's the Monarch, right? And the Monarch is a really nice set. One of the things the Monarch does though is like the MK2 has a single tuning. The Monarch has two different tunings, and it also has kind of this extra treble set that can get a little bit too sparkly and airy, which you may or may not like. I kind of dig it, but it's also one of those things that you might not like. The MK4 is a really good set, and they do a lot of things really well, and it's really clean and really pure, but it's not going to be for everyone. That doesn't have that really right bass shelf. Like even if we look at this with the extra bass shelf added on, you'll notice it still doesn't have that real thumpy bass. It's like a little bit more sub bassy, or a little bit more sub bass rather than mid bass focused. It also has a little bit more almost like a U shape, whereas the RSV just has that kind of that interesting, unique tuning with a little bit of darkness in that air region, and it just kind of downward slopes. And I think it's a lot of fun that I like, and I think people are gonna like. But it's kind of unique in that regards. I do have another IM on my desk that I find super impressive. I'll be reviewing this here pretty soon. I just kind of want to warn you guys before you go out and buy stuff. Wait for the NiceHack Rockies review. We'll be talking about that probably in a few days. All right, the Softears RS5 MK2. Let's rank it up. Solid set, really good. I really am impressed with it, and I'm gonna give it a solid 9.4. Like, it's a good SIM. It's a very good SIM. Is it something you need in your library? Maybe, maybe not. It's kind of a tactfully done bass head style IEM, and it's a different approach from Softears, which I think is really cool. Again, don't think it's perfect, but I think it's really crystalline and good at its price, and one of the better IMs out there for me and people that kind of want something in that I personally really like. If you look at like at per price, how does it do? I think in that, that $400 to $900 price category, it's really good. But I mean, even in that cheaper price category, you got stuff like the Civica Q, the Q Ears Punch is pretty good. Similar tuning. You also have something like the Zigot Moon and the Punch Audio Martillo, which I think is also fantastic and offers a great bass shelf. And you might even like the Punch Audio Martillo even better than that. So there's a lot of different IEMs at around this price that I think you can consider, even though I think there's a lot to be had about it. As far as like how does it go per brand, I personally really think this is my favorite IEM that they've done. A lot of their stuff they do is low bass shelf, like the Volume S, like the Twilight, the RSV. They all almost follow that exact same tuning, but the Softears RSV MK2 has done something different, a lot like the Enigma that we looked at earlier. I think this is a different approach to a more full, rich, mid-fi tackling sound, which people are gonna like. Again, not for non-bass heads. If you love the Softears Volume S, this isn't the treble version of that with even better treble and mids. It's the bass head version of it, but it's done well and tactfully. The hobby evolves and it evolves and evolves, and it becomes this one thing that like you really have to know more what tonality you want. To me, this represents a really nice tonality for what I've been looking for, but it's not perfect. It has moments of sibilance, it has moments of harshness where that bass becomes too aggressive and overpowering. I probably, if I ever like retune this, I would change quite a few things. Probably at that mid-range, I'd probably even have the bass shelf be maybe a little bit less and a little bit more less aggressive. But I think overall, it's a very unique set that some Softears hasn't done. And I think if you've never listened to a Softears IEM and you're like, oh, I just don't like it, it's too lean, try this. If you already have Softears IEMs and you want like the most crystalline Softears-esque IEM, this isn't it. This is something different. If you're a fan of the Enigma, maybe try this. But for the other IEMs, I feel this is a very different approach to everything. I feel it's a very nice IEM. It's very well packaged. It's beautiful. I love the faceplate. It's extremely comfortable. And so in that regards, it represents good value. I think musically it's very nice, and I feel like it's going to last years and years based on its build quality and just how it looks and feels. I like it. I think it's impressive. Is it the best IEM ever? No, but very rarely do you see bass done this well and upper air and mids done this well to boot. It's a rare combination where I think for people that are looking for a mid-fi set, this could be really perfect for people. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I hope you guys have a great day. Bye-bye for now.
Go!
Go!
Go on with you!
You're mid, you're mid, you're mid, you're legendary. You're mid. Jaytis out.